You're watching Camnet TV Main News. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. The headlines. PF accuses government of secretly refining the Republican Constitution. LUSAKA'S MAPOLOTO landlord dispels claims that President HH wants to sell their land. Police chief checks on political interference in public facilities. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now the main news in detail. Irene Mbewe of George Compound in LUSAKA'S Matero constituency has narrated to Camnet TV News how unscrupulous individuals have been taking advantage of her 23-year-old child living with a disability by allegedly sexually abusing her. In an interview with Camnet News, Ms. Mbewe, who is a single parent, says it has been difficult to strike a balance between working and taking care of her daughter. Meanwhile, Matero constituency Lima Ward Councillor Daniel Mwewa says the family needs emotional and financial support.
In 2010, the Zambian government ratified the United Nations Convention on Rights of Persons Living with Disability, intended to protect the rights and dignity of persons living with disability. And the country is implementing the Persons with Disabilities Act of 2012. However, advancing the rights of persons with disability has remained a challenge in the country. In LUSAKA'S Matero constituency in George Compound lives Irene Mbewe, a single parent whose 23-year-old daughter lives with a disability. She cannot walk upright because of her condition, and suspected individuals have taken advantage of her by sexually abusing her, as the mother narrates.
Niko na futa ya uyu mwana, nina mwana ni disabled, saenda. Nika neka nilipewa muna wananitaka kudari. So nikachoka hapo uyu mwana wantu wa masalamu lepinga, so sipandao zinosinchita vili gonzi. Imangaisa pe nilinkare, sikoja usikaye nikachoka hapo, nipeza mwana nishiwamu lepinga wanyamati.
Irene tells us that life has been hard because she has to spend more time looking after her child, hence calling on government to help with funds to start a business. Meanwhile, Lima Ward Councillor Daniel Mwewa expressed concern over the kind of life this family is living.
She just grows. So people tend to take advantage to have kind of knowledge against her consent and against her will. So it's quite a sad situation. So I think as the area councillor, my appeal to the government, to the business community, well-wishers, the church, and other stakeholders, just to come to the aid of this family.
Members of the community also spoke to us.
We are not free to Irene Mbewe. Moyo na apata challenge sana. Apata challenge sana kai itaenda ikarafika. So there's a lot of which needs to be done for her. Because everything she does it where she sits. That's why she does everything. So now you know if I could help so that she can have help to sell anything so that she's...
Disability affects people of all ages and gender. In Zambia, persons living with disability can play a vital role in making a better society if given a chance. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia police has apprehended 4 suspected criminals who have been operating around Silverest area of Chongwe district. Speaking when displaying various recovered items at Chalimbana police station Thursday, police spokesperson Rehamonga reveals that police received a report of a stolen cell phone on the 11th of November 2021, and the investigations led to a trail recovery of property from 19 homes so far by the said criminals. Among the recovered items is a Toyota IST vehicle which Mr. Hamonga says was being used by the criminals to convey the property into town for sale.
These are various items that have been recovered by Zambia police from a group of criminals who have been operating mainly around Lusaka's Silverest area. According to Zambia police spokesperson Mr. Rehamonga, the suspected group of criminals have been going around people's homes while pretending to look for piecework, but would later come back to break in using hammers, screwdrivers, and machetes. He says police received a report of a stolen cell phone on 11th November 2021 and says the investigations on that cell phone have led to the recovery of various household goods from 19 homes. 4 suspected criminals have been arrested, while 3 are yet to be apprehended. Among the recovered items are television sets, radios, fans, mobile phones, solar panels, shoes, and the Toyota IST registration number ALC 711, which he says was being used by the criminals to ferry the stolen items for sale in town.
From what we investigated so far, they would come during the day, leave these people. It's actually a team of them. They would leave them just be roaming around, looking for pieceworks, and then in the night they would come and strike. And that motor vehicle which is there, the IST, which you saw, this is the vehicle that was used to convey these things into town. And what they would do is from here, you know, there are a lot of roads now that have been constructed. They would avoid the checkpoint which will pass through. They would go through airport and then come out the other way. So this is how these criminals were trying to elude. They would be brought here, dumped in Silverest with that some vehicle. I mentioned the IST, dumped. They pretend to be looking for pieceworks. Meanwhile, they are spying. In the night, they would come and strike. After striking, this motor vehicle would come, get them, take them into town, sell these things on the street. So please, let's not create market for criminals by buying things, valuable things on the street.
He asked that police will not relent in fighting criminals and has urged members of the public to come forward with any information which may help in apprehending criminals around the country.
The criminals, we have a very strong warning to them that as police, we will not relent in the fight against crime. All what we are calling for is cooperation from you, the members of the public, that please ensure that you give us information for non-criminals. We are aware that most of you out there, you know these criminals. Like these criminals that we have apprehended, we have here at Chalimbana police. You can imagine how big these things are, but they were able to enter homes and get these things. And I also want to make mention that, unfortunately, some members of the public have fallen prey to these stolen items which they were being sold to. And we have recovered them as police, and we are still continuing recovering. So ensure that if you are going to buy an item, if it's a laptop or it's a TV, ensure that you buy it from a genuine person.
The police spokesperson has called on members of the public to come forward and identify the items which are being kept at Chalimbana police station and further help with information of how the items were stolen to know what charges to lay on the criminals. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, traders and bus drivers around Lusaka Central Business District CBD say the overall situation on cadres collecting illegal levies in markets and bus stations has improved since the coming of the United Party for National Development administration into office. Others, such as some bus drivers operating from Lusaka City Market, however, allege that there is still a few cadres harassing them. The traders told this to Camnet News during a heightened fact-finding mission of cadreism in public facilities by Zambia Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba in the company of the 2 Police Deputy Inspector Generals on Thursday.
It was a heightened operation Thursday morning as Zambia Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba went on a fact-finding mission around markets and bus stations in Lusaka Central Business District to ascertain the situation of political party cadres in these facilities. Political party cadres alleged to be from the Patriotic Front have allegedly been harassing citizens in these facilities, a situation which some say was inherited by cadres from the United Party for National Development UPND. The new administration, however, has come strong against this vice, promising the full wrath of the law to perpetrators. Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba, in the company of Deputy Police Inspector General in charge of administration Doris Nayame and Deputy Police Inspector General in charge of operations Muna Muyambango, toured these facilities. The police in Tuareg assessed major public facilities, namely Intercity Bus Terminus, Kulima Tower Bus Station, Wuseko Market, and City Market. The general response from council officials, traders, and drivers is that there is a general improvement in these facilities.
One for the freedom. Kulibati vuta. So anga tuwa mfumo booking a bus wa UPND. Wapati pasandram. Fati lipia. PF. Yenzo tenga mahala. Ku airport mahala. Not lipia ndram. But the government ya puela hapo hii. Sita zipo mwechesi na tunzi.
Kuza nivazo na pano. Kuli banga nso ntereko kwa paliko kada. Muno kuli be makada banasira. Tina mtendere mshemushi. Tuzisebenzera mwetufunira. Makada kuli be banaye. Banafuno vote first 2 weeks after close. PF. Benzo bwera but after wabili bachoka batapa libe chat. Ambira na statement ya president ya no kadarizi. Kuli be mwantu wa mulungu.
Ngaba makada zikulibe mwantu bozali kuchomotezo ngaya kutala mungapa kulibe tikachi kulibe. Tenda be kulibe be obamatuzi bamanuza kulibe.
Some bus drivers spoken to by Camnet News at City Market, however, alleged that this vice has not completely phased out.
Each station to buses 300 kwacha every day. Drama za chilimba za bus drivers. Au makadaza wanapanga yozi ati many committee ati wanaichitira form ku secretariat ya UPND. So mabotenga ndalama kutazama drivers 300 each station every day ngatsufu na wabokupisha wabokunyamula wamandotenga magari vachokati kwakanyama kwati kuwaduani huko ndiko mabwera kuchinika waduani wabokunyamula wabokutenga kupereka kuja kwenda kuchaya kuforce ngati paka wafio mapasezo ndalama.
Speaking at the Zambia Police Force headquarters, the police IG has warned of stern action against cadres who may want to harass citizens in the new administration.
However, I'm also aware, or equally aware, that there are a few criminal-minded individuals masquerading as UPND cadres who are going against those directives by soliciting for money from businessmen and women who are trading in these areas. As police, we will ensure that the new order of doing things in all the trading places across the country is in tandem with the policies of the new Dawn government of respecting the rule of law and human rights. Therefore, for those who choose to defy these directives, we will ensure that they are held accountable for their wrongdoings as individuals by bringing them to book.
The police IG has also directed that security should be enhanced at public facilities to prevent theft of property. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Malta Town Council has started confiscating mobile money booths whose trading licenses have not been renewed for the year 2022. About 20 booths were Wednesday confiscated and taken to the Civic Center for non-compliance by the owner. In an interview, Council Public Relations Officer Kachele explains that the local authority decided to take this route because the owners locked the booth whenever officers went to collect money. He says the council had given ample time for business owners to pay for their licenses, but that others had ignored the plea made by the local authority. Mr. Kanchele has since urged those that have not paid to quickly pay for their licenses and avoid being inconvenienced by the authority.
Today, Monze Town Council swung into action. We started confiscating mobile money booths due to non-payment of, or rather non-renewal of trading licenses. We did inform the public that the period for renewal of licenses was between October and December, and we further gave the window period for those who had issues with paying the renewal of licenses up to 15th January. But since then, people have not, some of them have not done that, and after our officers or revenue collectors, when they go on the ground to try and collect the money from these booths we are seeing behind, you'll find that people will lock them up and disappear. So instead of engaging us, they decide to run away. Instead of facing their challenges, they decide to lock the booths and go away. So we started confiscating them so that they can face us here. And to those who have not paid and we have not yet visited them, we are urging them to come to the council and pay their renewal fees so that they can do their businesses in peace.
The United Party for National Development has described as lies and propaganda allegations by the opposition Patriotic Front, suggesting that the President Hakainde Hichilema and his foreign counterparts are planning to evict residents of MAPOLOTO community in Lusaka's Chilenje area. Over the same statement, police in Lusaka recently warned and cautioned PF member of the Central Committee, Raphael Nakachinda, for the offense of proposing violence and the defamation of the president. And the Committee of Landlords in MAPOLOTO has informed Camnet News that the only existing program in the area is that of the relocating some tenants to Kanakantapa and Mumba resettlement schemes. Margaret Jere tells Camnet News that the process of facilitating title deeds in the area had started by former Kawata constituency Member of Parliament Given Lubinda, and the UPND assured to continue with the process.
This is the famous MAPOLOTO area in Lusaka's Kawata constituency in Chilenje Township, underdeveloped for a long time in one of Zambia's most developed constituencies. Lack of employment and recreation for young people, poor sanitation, dilapidated and undignified houses, and lack of drainages prevail in this area, currently in the middle of the controversy. During the campaign trail, to lobby for votes for their candidate, Clement Tembo, PF member of the Central Committee, Raphael Nakachinda, alleged that President Hakainde Hichilema and his foreign friends are planning to evict residents of MAPOLOTO in order to build a shopping mall.
Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has found friends who he wants to bring and build a mall there, displace the people and end up building a mall.
However, the Committee of Landlords in MAPOLOTO has informed Camnet TV News that the only existing program in the area is that of relocating some tenants to Kanakantapa resettlement scheme and Mumba district to enable the landlords work on the houses. Leading the group, Margaret Jele tells us that the process of facilitating for title deeds in the area was started by former Kawata constituency Member of Parliament Given Lubinda, and that the UPND assured to continue with the process.
Tenants haya vanamafunira malo unakatapa so that pano ise landlords timange bwino manyumba ya bwino, decent homes, of which boma izatitandizira kupasa ma title deeds. Palivena valina ma title deeds, palivena vakaribe kutenga ma title deeds.
She says it is not true that their land will be sold to foreigners.
It's not that we zonena kuti our president ikainda karibu fikapo pano. Muna vanhu vonapo pano va MAPOLOTO tikaribe. So is ni blue line. It's not there. Ndava vose nilina pano, nilina list ya MAPOLOTO vose mazina yao ma landlords na amene vazatenga ma plots.
Chilenge Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Mwenya says they will safeguard the interest of the people.
Right now, saying whatever they feel or think is okay for them, because Honorable Rubinda and Nakachinda are in the same team. And before maybe Mr. Nakachinda comes to Kabwata, he must be advised what to say by the Vice President, Mr. Rubinda, because he understands everything about this place. And also, I want to take this opportunity to assure the people of Mapoloto that whatever statement that Mr. Nakachinda made was very false and very malicious. No one is going to sell this land here. These people belong here and this is their land.
The party leadership says the UPND will not demolish any house but work with the people to develop the area.
Activity development kuno. Marodi ya Mapoloto yafu nikopangiwa. Manyumba aya ba president plan yabo is to make sure that these houses are developed to a standard where it is humanly normal. Okay? So gulibe abwela kupanya manyumba ya Mapoloto. Tibwela kuyachita develop. Na kukupa sani ma title deeds.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Patriotic Front Vice President Given Luwinda has charged that the party does not want to associate with itself with what it termed as Shamboli constitution-making process. Mr. Luwinda has charged that the ruling United Party for National Development has started receiving submissions on the constitution secretly without widely consulting the Zambian people. He has demanded high-level consultation, transparency and accountability in the constitution reform process if they are to participate. And Mr. Luwinda has alleged that the government wants to hand back Konkola copper mines to Vendetta Resource, which will come back as a different firm.
Recently, Minister of Mines and Mineral Development Paul Kabuswe said the UPND government will find a competent investor to take over Konkola Copper Mines KCM on the copper belt once the liquidation process of the mine comes to an end. Speaking to KCM workers who wrote a petition to President Hakainde Hichilema, Mr. Kabuswe said consultations were underway on which investor will take over the mining giant. Meanwhile, the opposition Patriotic Front Thursday, 20 February 2021, held a press briefing to preempt alleged government intentions by suggesting that the investor it is looking for is none other than Vendetta Resources, which will come behind a different company.
Zambians are therefore asking who is buying the mine. There is no doubt that the process to sell has already commenced. We have evidence that the process to sell KCM has already commenced. However, on behalf of the Zambian people, we unfortunately come to the conclusion that only those who understand the mine can buy it through this abridged process. And in this case, it can only be.
The opposition leader also accused the government of taking a lenient approach in terms of taxing investors in the mining sector.
The way Panama is doing is how governments that are serious about their countries benefiting from their God-given resources operate. Unlike ours, which gives everything away to investors on the pretext that they will invest more. Now you say don't pay so you can invest more. And when they invest more, again they will say we'll invest more. So when will Zambia benefit? When? It's the same as telling a person, you can come and rent my house. Don't pay rent because you have promised that you're going to pay more when you have more children.
Mr. Luwinda has charged that the party does not want to associate itself from what he termed as a shambolic constitution-making process. He has demanded high-level consultation, transparency and accountability in the constitution reform process if they are to participate.
We have nothing to boycott, but will not take part in anything that we know is a mockery. And fortunately for us, we set the goalpost. Through the process that we used, we set the goalpost. And they said this goalpost is too low. We want it higher. So we have a measure already. The beauty is we have a measure. If they do anything that is below the goalpost that we set, then we'll tell them, Chitani, will not take part. Not that we'll boycott, we'll just not take part. We have the liberty not to take part.
He also underscored the need to desist from insulting the president.
So yes, I would like to appeal to Zambians, please, don't you insult. Don't insult me. Don't insult anyone. It does not only have to be President Hakainde, it's anybody. Don't insult. I've been here with you for more than an hour. I've not insulted anybody. Because I think that when I insult, I'm demeaning my stature, I'm demeaning myself. So yes, I agree with this one. So please don't insult. But also, don't be uncivilized.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Chasefo Member of Parliament Mishek Nyambose has warned agriculture camp officers who involve themselves in the stealing and selling of fish fertilizer that they risk being fired. Mr. Nyambosa says he will report all camp officers who have been stealing fertilizer meant for the vulnerable farmers to the minister so that disciplinary measures are taken against them. The lawmaker says he will not allow government fertilizer meant to help improve the livelihoods of people being swindled by selfish individuals. Mr. Nyambose was speaking after intercepting over 16 bags of government fertilizer destined for sale by both cooperative leaders and a non-camp officer in Mutawalo of Senior Chief Magodi's area around 23 hours on Wednesday.
The government releases fertilizer to help the members of the cooperatives. But these people, they collude with the agriculture officers. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, we got fertilizer in Mutwaro area, in Susawa. That was picked by the agriculture officer. This case is on and the fertilizer is there as testimony. And this is going around across the constituency. From the day I was elected, I've waged a war. I've waged a war against all those who are stealing from the poor. Right now I'm going to Malandula. There's a story where people were sharing fertilizer 0506 hours. When all the farmers were still sleeping, the members of the committee sharing huge amounts to themselves and denying other members. That cannot happen under the watch of myself.
Technology and Science Minister Felix Mtati has stressed the need to enhance the use of green charcoal that is made from agricultural waste to reduce deforestation in the country. Speaking when he officiated at the charcoal briquette project launch for Chikankata Secondary School and Namembe communities, Mr. Mtati says the project will act as a sustainable solution to climate change as there will be no more cutting down of trees in Southern Province. He adds that the upscaling of the charcoal briquette technologies in Zambia will act as an alternative source of energy and respond to the call of exploring alternative energy sources. And Green Economy and Environmental Minister Collins Nzovu says once the project is implemented, it will discourage the cutting down of trees and encourage the use of agricultural waste, which contributes to emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Her Royal Highness Chieftainess Mwenda has extended her gratitude to government for the developmental support rendered to her chiefdom.
Majority of Zambians depend on wood for cooking and heating energy due to its affordability, accessibility for meeting people's need. While it offers a low-cost means for cooking, heating homes and powering industrial activities, a sizable proportion of it is obtained unsustainably, leading to deforestation and land degradation. In order to address this issue, government has over the years launched different projects in partnership with other institutions. This afternoon, Minister of Technology and Science Felix Mutati officiated at the launch of the Charcoal Brigade project for Chikankata Secondary School and Namimbo communities in Chikankata District, Southern Province.
Technology and innovation
This green charcoal will be made from agricultural waste and not from cutting down trees. We will no longer cut down trees in Shakara.
The project, once implemented, will discourage the cutting down of trees and encourage the use of agricultural waste, which contributes to emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. National Technology Business Center is behind this project.
Which we are bringing to Shakara is aimed at mobilizing and supporting rural community groups to venture into green charcoal fabrication. And the support that the NGBC is bringing to Shakara is meant to commence the production, upscaling, improving the quality of the green charcoal, utilizing more efficient and cleaner green charcoal fabrication technologies, and employing industrial best practices, and most importantly,
different government officials were in attendance of the event.
So, as your owner, my ministry will be ready to work with yourself. My ministry is also ready to ensure that climate finance, which is now readily available, is utilized efficiently with your ministry.
Meanwhile, Her Royal Highness Chieftainess Mwenda thanked government for the support. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take our first of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom? Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
To all parents and guardians of the Camnet Stars, be informed that there will be a meeting at the Healing Word Ministries International Church in Ibex Hill on 22nd January 2022. Time, 10 hours to 11:30 hours. The future of this nation is in the hands of your children.
And we are just preparing for the game next week, the friendly match. We are working really hard and preparing for our first match.
Camnet Stars, the upcoming soccer giants in Zambia.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the main news. The Buy Zambia campaign executive director Evans Ngoma has urged Zambians to start planting various fruit trees to create a viable fruit market industry and actualize calls for the supporting of the local fruit market by various stakeholders. In an interview, Mr. Ngoma says this move will not only have economic benefits, but will also help in combating climate change through afforestation. Mr. Ngoma notes that the United Party for National Development Administration has promised industrialization as one way of developing the country, hence the need for various players to play their part.
As by we see this program as something very, very cardinal that will change the narrative in the next 5 to 6 years. You know, all I would urge the local Zambians is to take such kind of approach seriously. Let us not rush for a quick turnaround on our return on investment. Let us know that long term has actually a good ripple effects, because when we begin to reap, it is a long time reaping. And so we would encourage each one of you to engage in the planting of fruit trees once the program is rolled out. This one is a double killer. Apart from enjoying the fruit and its drink, also it enhances the environment by afforestation, you know, by way of afforestation. You realize that there's a depletion of trees. You know, so that is one way of enhancing issues to deal with climate change, and so it is a good move.
Stakeholders in the road safety sector have expressed concern over the escalating cases of traffic-affected accidents in the 2021 annual traffic report updated on January 19, 2022. According to the 2021 annual road traffic accident statistics, Zambia recorded 28,484 road traffic accidents in 2020 compared to 32,372 road traffic accidents which were recorded in 2021, indicating an increase in road traffic accidents by 3,888. In an exclusive interview, Zambia Road Safety Trust Program Manager Miles Mwale says there is urgent need for both government institutions and communities to contribute to the reduction of the accidents going forward. And Taxi and Bus Drivers Association of Zambia has called for the curriculum restructuring for drivers training, especially the public service vehicles licensing, which remains a crucial factor contributing to the rise in cases.
In the year 2021, Zambia recorded 32,372 road traffic accidents, in which 1,757 were fatal road traffic accidents, causing about 2,000 people killed. In comparison with the year 2020, figures have shown an increase in road traffic accidents by 3,888. This development has worried some stakeholders in the transport sector. During an exclusive interview, Zambia Road Safety Trust Programs Manager Milos Mwale says it is a wake-up call to all citizens and institutions to work at ensuring numbers are reduced going forward.
So we are just calling upon the people that are responsible in built-up areas. Let's ensure that we manage speed. We do speed management, like where humps are required, where crossings are required, of course with the consideration of the most vulnerable people in our community who are pedestrian, because those are the people that are affected quite a lot. Even if you look at the statistics, it's over 46% of people that are affected are actually pedestrian and cyclists who die. For drivers, it's only about 2%, 2 to 10%. Those are the people, that motorists who are affected, but the majority of people who die, even if you analyze the statistics, you find that pedestrians are actually the most vulnerable people on our roads.
And Buses and Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia has called for the curriculum reformation for drivers training, especially the public service vehicles PSV, and further calls for more decongestion programs to reduce traffic on the roads.
Rising from the many congestions that we are seeing in the country, and yet we are now witnessing a lot of road rage on our roads. And also we believe as an association that also the training of PSV and public passenger goods should go beyond a driver getting a PSV driver's license, because these are people that transport high value goods, and also they carry a lot of lives in their vehicles at a given time. So we'd like to see the training of this personnel going beyond them training to get a PSV driver's license.
And the Zambia School of Driving Programs Director, Hope Kumalo, has regretted the development, appealing for robust sensitization among road users.
It is quite disheartening, especially for us as driver trainers. We really feel that we have a responsibility trying to assist the government, support the government in releasing or ensuring that the people that take to the roads to become drivers have been trained properly, and that we have high quality, properly trained drivers taking to the streets. Now, when we talk about the causes of accidents, I know that according to RATSA, the main reason that has been given over the years has been the issue of human error. So, but for us as driver trainers, we want to say that, in our opinion, human error is more of what we call a symptom of the real cause. So, in our opinion, as driver trainers, over the years, we've consistently spoken about this. We believe the main cause of road traffic accidents is the lack of or the inadequate training by people who take to the roads.
According to the police, most of these accidents were attributed to human error, such as excessive speed, misjudging clearance distance, failing to keep the near side, among other factors. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
The Media Network on Child Rights and Development has called for an equal distribution and training of ICT program for learners in both rural and urban schools to improve the quality of learning in rural areas. MNCRD Director Henry Kabwe says with the increment in the Community Development Fund, community leaders should endeavor securing education advancement in their respective localities. Mr. Kabwe has noted that in the recent past, children in rural areas have faced challenges in accessing IT facilities, which explains why most fail to pass IT-related exams. He has called for a deliberate intervention to ensure the narrative is changed and provide an equal opportunity for rural learners to gain access to available IT resources. Mr. Kabwe was speaking to Camnet TV in an exclusive interview.
But with this increment in CDF, we expect even rural constituencies to even purchase gadgets for learners, for them to be able to have lessons in ICT, because the divide was actually increasing. Because in Zambia, exams are written, the same way. There's nothing like this child comes from a poor family, the other one comes from a better-to-do family. So we find that children that were writing ICT exams, for example, we had these children that are able to operate phones even better than their parents, competing against children that have never seen a smartphone, that have never seen a computer. And I'm told in some cases, children are put on computers and they're just looking at them. So I think there's need for us to ensure that as we invest in these constituencies, some of these issues are addressed so that we can be able to bridge the gap between those that are in rural areas and those that are in urban areas. So
we'll take our second set of commercials. Coming next is international and sports news.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and uninterrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. Now getting into our international item. Many African countries are still lagging behind other regions when it comes to COVID-19 vaccinations. Zimbabwe's government wants to change this and is revamping up efforts to increase vaccine uptake. But hesitance and cultural differences are hampering the rollout. Here's a roundup of international news.
At first, Vimbai Njovo was in no hurry to get vaccinated until she got sick with COVID-19. It's why the student's only now receiving her first jab. Like other Zimbabweans, the 21-year-old believed the misinformation and conspiracy theories about the vaccines.
The first one is that when you get vaccinated, right, you die earlier than expected. And the second one is that by the time you get vaccinated, you're initiated into Satanism. And like most people, they're afraid of Satanism. So that's why people are afraid. And these conspiracy theories, they're so dangerous.
Zimbabwe missed its December target of vaccinating 60% of the 15 million population. Just over a third have been fully inoculated. Health workers say the problem isn't getting vaccine deliveries. China recently sent 10 million doses and more are on the way. The challenge is convincing more people to accept them. Wendy Kuhuni is getting her booster. She believes the low vaccination rates could have something to do with the perceived mildness of the Omicron variant.
Most people don't know the benefits of being vaccinated. They just think it's, you know, we can get sick and recover at home. So most people won't come in just because of that.
To raise the total, the government made it compulsory for all its workers to get vaccinated. Zimbabweans can only get into bars, restaurants and places of worship if they are fully inoculated. Despite that, daily vaccination rates have been dropping. For some people here, getting vaccinated could mean losing a day's wages. First they have to wait in line for public transport. Then they have to join another line to get vaccinated. That could take hours. Health officials are now looking at setting up vaccination centers at bus stops. Another proposal is to make it mandatory for everyone using public transport to show one of these, a vaccination card proving they've had a jab. The World Health Organization says only 7% of Africa's 1.25 billion people are fully vaccinated. Reasons vary from country to country. They include access to the vaccines, logistics, hesitancy, and apathy. Government leaders here say they're trying to educate everyone about getting vaccine protection. But unlike last year, when there seemed to be a rush to get the jabs, this time only a few Zimbabweans are trickling in. Hadi Mutasa, Al Jazeera, Harare.
A Nigerian court on Wednesday ruled that the 2017 arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, accused of leading a secessionist campaign in the country's southeast, was illegal. But the same court upheld the state's treason charges against Kanu. It said Kanu's violent arrest in 2017 was an infringement on his rights. Court awarded $2.4 million against the government. Last year, Kanu, who is the self-prescribed leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was extradited to Nigeria from London, where he had fled after being released on bail in 2017. He faces several counts of terrorism and treason. He denies the charges. Kanu is leading a campaign on the platform of IPOB for the reawakening of the Biafra Republic, a secessionist movement that led to a civil war in 1967 to 1970 to bring back the southeast under the control of Abuja. The war caused the death of more than 1 million people. Nigeria has blamed last year's attacks on police and security personnel in the southeast on Kanu's separatist group, a claim the movement denies. Gambian President Adama Barrow was sworn in for a second term on Wednesday at ceremonies near the capital, Banjul. Barrow's first election in 2016 put an end to more than 20 years of Yahya Jammeh's rule. He was re-elected in December, winning 53% of the vote.
I, Adama Barrow, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia, according to law, so help me God.
Barrow took his oath at the Bakau Stadium on the outskirts of Banjul at a ceremony attended by foreign VIPs. He pledged to work to jumpstart the economy, whose mainstay tourism has been ravaged by the coronavirus pandemic.
Proceeding from the transition phase, the Gambia will now need a new development model and new operational frameworks, with our development priorities set against sustainable timelines for implementation.
December's election was the first post-Jammeh vote in the country of 2 million people.
We now get into your sports news. The long-awaited FIFA-founded STADIA rehabilitation exercise has commenced, with Solwezi Independent Stadium becoming the first to be commissioned. Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Elvis Nkandu and his Northwestern Province counterpart Robert Lihefu joined FAS Vice President Justin Mumba and General Secretary Adrian Kashala in handing over the stadium to the contractor. Mr. Nkandu says the launch of the STADIA rehabilitation had the full support of government.
We'll do all those minor improvements so that the stadium is brought to that standard. Let me assure you, Honorable Ministers and everybody else, that with those works, Solwezi Stadium will host an international game.
We have no doubt that this will mark a turnaround in the development of sport in the country. I wish to encourage our contractors on sites on these stadiums that we adhere to the benchmarks that we've agreed, so that at the end of the project we will have the quality of the stadiums that we need.
Northwestern Province now regularly has representation in the Super and National Division 1 leagues. I have no doubt that the rehabilitation of this stadium will add to the already unfolding success story of sports in the province. We are very grateful to FIFA for having responded to FAS's request to help fund the rehabilitation of Stadia. We look forward to being back in a few months for the handover of the refurbished infrastructure. So sustainability of every project rely on one, the commitment of the locals, the involvement of the locals, and the contribution. So definitely, the contractor will have no option but to involve the locals, to avoid one, vandalism, and also to be inclusive in whatever we are doing as the new Dawn government.
That sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV main news, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. PF accuses government of secretly refining the Republican Constitution. LUSAKA'S MAPOLOTO landlords dispel claims that President HH wants to sell their land. Police chief checks on political interference in public facilities. In international news, Zimbabwe vaccine hesitancy, government ramps up jab distribution. And in sports, Sports Minister launches FAS FIFA STADIA rehabilitation exercise in SOLWEZI. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13, and it reads, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to humanity. God is faithful, and he will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation, he will also provide a way of escape so that you are able to bear it." Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Pleasant viewing.